So before covering the strength, there is one more aspect that I would like to cover, that is the avastha of planet. So there is something known as Baladi Avastha of the planets. Now what does this avastha of planet means? So basically you have to check the degree of the planet. Like for example, in your chart, let's say sun is at 3 degree in whatever sign. It could be in Aries, it could be in Pisces, whatever sign. But the degree is, let's say, 3 degrees Leo. Sun is in 3 degrees Leo. So we will have to first check the avastha of the planet. Is like this is basically telling you the age of the planet. Is planet infant, just born, like if it is just entered that sign, or it is in Kumar Avastha or adolescent state, like from around 6 degree to 12 degrees, it is known as adolescent state. Then maybe the best is like the planet is most powerful when it is like you can compare it with a human. It is straight away comparable to the human. Like you are most powerful when you have most energy, you can do accomplish most when you are youth. When you are just born, you are totally dependent on your parents. Then when you are in adolescent state, yes, you can do a lot, like in teenager kind of thing. You can do, you have the energy, but you have most energy, most powerful when you are in youth. And when you reach old state, again energy decreases. And when you are dead, then there is no use, like you are almost about to die, or at that state, then you have no power. So depending on the sign of the planets, let's say the planet is in odd sign as if Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, and all that, like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. So these are odd signs. When it is in odd sign, so the you can take it very, well, it is very easy. 0 to 6 degree, planet is just born. 6 to 12 degree, adolescent states. 12 to 18 degree, youth stage. 18 to 24 degree, old age. And the last degrees, Mrit state or Vidyavastha. So this is applicable when the planet is in odd signs, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. When the planet is in even signs, it reverses. The order reverses. So then it will be called in Bala Avastha or infant state when it is in last degrees, 24 to 30 degrees. And the sequence becomes exactly opposite. Okay. So this tells the avastha of the planet. So this is one of the aspects which is used by a lot of astrologers. But then, like for example, when they have mentioned that Mrit state the planet is of no use, it is not like you should not take it as verbatim. Of course, planet like in one of the system known as Gemini, there is a system known as Gemini. The planet which has highest degree is Atma Karaka. So highest degree means when it is in uh, like according to this, it would probably be in dead state. Then it becomes the most powerful planet as per Gemini. It is Atma Karaka. It is the Karaka of your soul. So this is just one aspect. You should keep this in mind, but don't think that, oh, it is in mid state now, it is of no use. No, it is not like that. There are many other aspects that will come into the picture. So just for your knowledge, I have just told that this is one of the aspects. Now we are coming to the strength thing. Now Baladi Avastha, like when a planet may actually be exalted but in Mrit Avastha. So if a planet is exalted and is in Mrit Avastha, then it means that the person has a lot of talent, like because it is exalted. That means he will be he has a lot of talent with the significations of that particular planet, whatever that planet signifies, whatever properties that planet signifies. The person would be a lot of talented in those properties, but then it does not translates into real world results. It is like having, it is a very good engine of the car, but it is not connected properly to the wheels. So you have the caliber, but you cannot still deliver the results. So this is how we can interpret it. This is how we can use this thing. In general, youth avastha is the best, as we already, as I already told you, youth avastha, yuva avastha is generally the best avastha. But then for some planets, like for Sun and Mars, they perform surprisingly well when they are in Bal avastha, because Sun and Mars basically represents energy. Sun also represents energy. Okay, so they are, Sun and Mars are quite similar planets. They are fiery planets. They represent a lot of energy, impulsiveness, all those qualities. So this also matches with the qualities of a child. Is impulsive. He has a lot of energy. They are always bubbling with lot of energy. So Sun and Mars, they perform well when they are in infant state. Jupiter and Venus, like Jupiter is a karak of wisdom. Venus is a karak of like arts, money, luxuries, all those things. And you basically go for these things when you are in yuva stage, when you are in young stage. That is the time when you want to earn a lot of money, you want to gain a lot of knowledge. So that is why Jupiter and Venus, they represents the yuva avastha, that they work well when they are in yuva avastha. Moon and Saturn, like Saturn is specially, Saturn is a planet which represents old age. Okay, like uh, if you go to the significations of Saturn, Saturn basically represents old people, people who work very hard, uh, maybe sick people also. They represent Saturn. So it is quite like its significations matches quite closely with the old age. So they give best results when you have old age. So also Saturn also gives delayed results. It needs patience, a lot of patience. So Moon and Saturn, they are the ones which work well when they are in old age, because their significations match with this avastha. And Mercury works well when they are in, it is in adolescent state. It is said to give good results almost in every avastha, but mostly in adolescent state. Okay, so these are the uh, this is how we can use the planets and the avasthas. Okay, now coming to Shadbal. Now Shadbal, this is the net strength of a planet. Like whenever you have to check the strength of a planet in your horoscope, you basically you are finding Shadbal. Now Shadbal, basically Shad means six, Bal means power. So this basically comprises of six different aspects. So you have to check the strength of a planet on each of these six aspects. Then you sum them up and find net Shadbal. So Shadbal is the net result. Okay, so you have to basically judge the planet basis on six parameters, six different parameters. That is why it is known as Shadbala. Okay, there are other balas as well, but Shadbala is one of the most most popular bal. So let me show you how we can see Shad. So you can see the chart here. Here you go to strengths tab. Here is the strength. If you click this, oh, there is something known as Vimsok Bal. We are not uh, studying this. This is known as Shadbal. Okay, they are different. Like as I told you, they are different type of strengths. This is Shadbal. Shadbal, percentage of strength. If a planet has 100, if Shadbal is 100, 100 is considered as average. Anything above 100 is good, and anything below 100 is less, because it is in percentage. So 100% is like the average strength. More than 100%, it's strong. Less than 100%, it's weak. Like for example, in this example chart, Sun, Mercury, and Venus, they have low Shadbal. In fact, Mercury has the lowest Shadbal. So Mercury is very weak here. Whereas Moon, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Especially Saturn. Saturn has the highest. Saturn and Jupiter both you can say 121, 122. So almost similar. But Saturn has the highest Shadbal in this chart. Okay. So you can, this is the net calculation. If you want, we can see Shadbal breakup. Okay. So this is the breakup of the Shadbal. So it has Sthanbal, Kalbal, Digbal, Cheshtabal, Drigbal, Naisargika. So these 6 parameters. These are the 6 parameters on which Shadbal, net Shadbal is decided. So here you can see, based on these 6 parameters, they have first found out the net Shadbala, then they have converted this into units of rupas, then they have converted into the unit of percentage strength. Okay, so these 3 charts are basically the same thing, just the units are different, and these 6 are different charts. Okay, so net of Sthanbal, Kalbal, Digbal, Cheshta, Drigbal, and Naisargika. These 6 bal combined will give us the Shadbal. Okay. Now we will understand what does each of these bulls tell us. So we have these 6 bulls. One is Sthanbal. Sthanbal is the positional strength. Now this we have already discussed. So we have already discussed what is exaltation, what is own sign, what is friend sign. So based on that, like we give marks to everything. Then based on that strength, we like, let's say it is in exalted sign, so we will give him 100 marks. If it is in this debilitation, we might give him around 0 marks, some maybe 5, 10, or 0 marks, something like that. I think in one of the PPTs I actually shared the percentage. Did I? When we discuss exaltation debilitation, did I share that how much, what is the percentage of strength does exaltation
I
have?
don't remember that.
Huh?
Don't remember.
Don't remember.
I don't remember.
Okay, maybe I'll share it maybe in the next class. Like there is a percentage, like for exaltation maybe 100%, then debilitation you can go to like Mool Trikon around 75%, own sign around 50%, friend sign around 25%, something like that. Okay, so based on that, this is known as positional strength or sthan bal, like where it is positioned. Is it positioned in the exaltation sign, is it positioned in the debilitation sign, or friends sign, or enemy sign, or own sign? So this is known as sthan bal. Okay, now the next is digbal. So this represents digbal. Dig means disha. Okay, so you must have heard this in Hanuman Chalisa. Yam Kuber Digpal Jahate Kahi Kobit Kahi Sake Kahate. This is a line. Yam Kuber Digpal Jahake. So Yam and Kuber are the Digpals. Like Digpals means they are the protectors of they are the guardians of the direction. So this basically means directional bal. Dig basically means direction. So now our chart is divided into 4 directions, like east, north, west, and south. So the ascendant, like first house basically represents east direction. The 10th house represents south direction. The 7th house represents west direction, and 4th house represents north direction. Okay. So like for example, like how you can remember this, sun rises like at the time of like whenever the sun rises, that particular house is known as ascendant, right? So sun rises from the east. Okay, so first house always represents ascendant. So and then the houses keep on moving, keep on shifting, and when sun is at its peak, like around 12 or 12 or so, the then it is the house which is rising would be, like at that time it will be ascendant, it would sun would be in 10th house, and as it moves like during the time of sunset, the sun would be in seventh house. Remember the way we calculated in previous class, it is quite same. So at the time of sunset, sun would be in seventh house. Remember in your horoscope, we found out that sun is in seventh house. That's how we got the Libra in your horoscope in the last class.
Yes.
So at the time of sunset, your thing is like just around your time of birth was just near sunset. So at the sunset, sun is in seventh house, and in the midnight, it is in fourth house. Okay, so this is how the directions are. Like it is in south. So at the midnight, it is in, sorry, north. So this is how directions, you can give directions to the chart or to the houses of the chart. Okay, so now if the Jupiter and Mercury, if they are placed in east direction, so east direction basically represents first house. So this is very good. Like this gives Jupiter and Mercury directional strength. It gives a lot of marks. Like if Jupiter and Mercury are in first house, they let's say if out of 100 they will get whole 100 marks. But if they are in second or house or 12th house, they will like maybe 90 marks because they are close to east. But if they are in seventh house, then they'll get very low marks on Digbal strength. Okay, so because why Jupiter and Mercury are, like, you can remember this is actually, you should remember this chart at least. I don't expect you to remember all the how all the strengths are calculated, but this chart is important, at least the Digbal. How to remember this? Like in the morning, early morning, like this, that is the sunrise time, you are expected to like do the chanting. You like students are expected to study because that is the most productive hour. This is the time which is the best time for any spiritual activity, any study work, and all those things. So that is why Jupiter and Mercury are like they have the highest strength in first house. Okay, then coming to, i'll I'll go to this first south direction, then I'll go back again. So coming to Sun and Mars, so they are, Sun is like, as I told, Sun has highest strength when it is at around 12 in the afternoon. So that is the house of karma. 10th house is the house of karma. Mars also represents karma. Mars also represents action. So you are actually, you are out for work. You are doing, you are earning. You are doing your main karma, your action at around this time only. At when the sun is in 10th house at near the afternoon. So that is why Sun and Mars are uh, actually very like they have highest strength. They have highest digbal in south direction. Now when the sun sets, okay, then the Saturn, like Saturn represents darkness. Okay. So then the Saturn represents delay, Saturn represents darkness, Saturn represents also sadness. Okay. So as the sun sets, the darkness sets in. So that is why Saturn is like Saturn has more strength in west direction because sun sets in west direction, and this is the house represented by seventh house. Like this direction is represented by seventh house. And when it is night, then you do the luxury activities. You do what your heart says, your man says. It is your leisure time. You watch TV, you do whatever you want. Okay, you spend time with your spouse. So that's why Venus and Moon, like they are more comfortable in Sukha house, fourth house. Okay, because you are in your house at this time and in the night. So they are more, they get more digbal when you are in north direction. Okay, so this is how you can actually remember. This is a very easy way to remember which planet is has most digbal in which direction. Okay, so this was about digbal. Now when a planet has a high digbal, what do you like? You can uh, can you just mute your mic? Uh, Ravdeep ji, there is a lot of noise coming. Can you please mute yourself? Okay. So when a planet has high digbal, it knows what to do and where to go. It means it knows its direction. It is directional one. It knows its purpose and it knows like the results are well coordinated. Like it knows how like planet is not lost. When a planet is at the digbal is low, the planet is lost. Like even if it is exalted, he doesn't know like you have the talent, but you don't know how to use that talent. You are lost. You are not guided properly. That means that planet is low in digbal. But when you know, like let's say you want to earn money and your Venus has a very good digbal, so you know how to earn money. You don't need directions from other. You will find your way out. But let's say you have strong Venus but digbal is low. Like other from other aspects it is strong but digbal is low. So you might be CA, you might be very well educated, you know a lot about money, but you still can't figure out how to earn it. Like you still don't get the opportunity, or you basically you are not able to figure out the way. You can guide others, they will like you can give advice to others and they are earning money, but you yourself will not be able to figure out the way. This is what the digbal indicates. Okay, so if you are just you can just see the digbal of a planet and you can tell that whether this person will find the way out or not. He will be able to way out or by himself or not. So that means if someone has low digbal, let's say Venus has low digbal and he is facing problems with money, so then you should advise him to take some guidance from someone. Don't like he should, because he will be facing money by problems by himself. He will be facing problems by himself because he will not be able to figure out the direction himself. So he needs some guidance. So you should advise him to take some guidance from a known person. Okay. So this is what Digbal tells. Then there is some another thing which is known as Kalbal. So this is how the Kalbal is measured. Basically, Kalbal tells uh, like like for example, it has the Kalbal has various components. Like for example, uh, mm, what should I say? Lord, like for whichever planet you are finding the Kalbal. So whether that planet is, let's say you were born in morning, okay. So in the morning, like during the day. So if you are born during the day, Sun, Jupiter, and Venus, they will get good this Nathanotana bal, Nathanotan bal. But your Moon, Mars, and Saturn, they will not get good Nathantan bal. So it is basically depending on at what time you were born. It's basically the timing. Like for example, for let's say Varshbal. So who was the Lord of Year when you were born? So that planet will get extra points of Varshbal. Who was the lord of month when you were born? That planet will get extra points when for that Masbal. Then who was the lord of the day? Who was the lord of the Hora? Who, and so many points. So based on all these things, certain planets will get some extra points. Okay. So this is how the Kalbal is calculated. The Kalbal gives results is like it basically decides the timing. Okay. So the planet gives the results easily and at the right time. So for example, if its dasha is going on let's say you someone is in around 25 to 30 years of age and his Venus dasha is going on, so it will give Venus will give him very good results. He will earn good money, and he might also get married easily. He will not face any issues with getting married. So that means the planet is giving results easily and at the right time. Delayed result, maybe he would get married at 35, 40. So it will this is known as delayed result. When the planet has low Kalbal, even if the planet is in good house, the person may feel stuck or find that their efforts bear fruit only after significant delays. Like he is trying a lot, he is trying to get married, his his parents are trying to get him or her married, but they are not getting the right match, or some or the other problem is coming up. So that means that it signifies that maybe his Venus has low Kalbal. Okay, so you have to all these aspects basically signify some of the things. Now going to Cheshtabal. Now what is Cheshtabal? Cheshtabal basically tell Cheshta is basically about the motion of the planet. Okay, so when if the planet is Vakri, like retrograde, it gets the maximum points on the Cheshtabal. When it's Anuvakri means it is retrograde, but it is in the last phase of retrograde, that it is about to get it is about to take the turn it is about to take the turn and become direct, so it gets lesser points than when it is in stationary. In last class we studied that when it is a retrograde, then it becomes stationary for a moment and then it turns and becomes direct. So when it is at stationary state, it gets 15 point. When it is like, now planets they do not move with the same speed. Sometimes they have a slower speed, sometimes they have faster speeds. That's what I think we discussed it in the last class. So when they are moving in slow motion, they get around 30 points. When they are in very slow motion, 45 points, and average speeds they get 7.5 points. So this is how Cheshta Bal is calculated. So if a planet has got very high Cheshtabal, that means it represents never say die attitude. That in like for example, maybe let's say Saturn. If the Saturn has a lot of Cheshtabal, so for the work he might not be getting his job easily, or he might not get his work done easily. But that native will not say, like he will not let it like he will always try to win it. Like he will not give it up easily. He will try again and again and again and again until he is not successful. So it represents basically how much this person has the ability to struggle. So he will not give up easily. So Chestable basically tells the his struggling ability of that native for that particular significations. He will not give it up easily for that aspect, for which he has very good Chestable. Now the next is Naisargik Bal. Now Naisargik Bal, how much is left? Drig Bal. Okay, so just two are left. So we'll cover it. So Naisargik Bal is something which is fixed. Like it basically shows the brightness of that planet. Now brightness is fixed. We know the sun is brightest star. Right? It will have the highest uh, this Nasargic bulb. Moon is the second highest, then Venus, then Jupiter, then Mercury, Mars, and Saturn. Saturn is the dimmest. So this is fixed. This is fixed for everyone. Like this is not. This is independent of chart, whether it is me or you or whoever it is. So this is the only thing which is fixed. But based on this also, the points are also given. So this is the only component that remains fixed. If two planets are equally strong in other areas, then the one with highest Naisargic world will dominate the personality. No matter how weak the sun is in the chart, it still carries more natural authority because it has the like it will always have the highest Naisargik bal. It is the source of light. It is the brightest star. Okay, so this is the fixed point, fixed thing. You don't have to see anything in this. Okay, and the last aspect of Shadbala is Drigbal. Drig means, now there are two things, Drig and Drig. Drig was direction and Drig is Drishti, aspect. Okay, now this is Drigbal is calculated depending on how many aspects and from which planets the aspects is being received. Okay, so Drigbal is the most dynamic part of the Shadbal. It measures how much a planet is being influenced by other planets. So let's say a planet is sitting in third house. So it will be getting an direct aspect from ninth house, direct seventh aspect. So it might be getting some aspect from like Saturn. Let's say Saturn is sitting in mm, Saturn is in say Saturn is in Lagna, so it will get its third aspect from Saturn. It might also get fifth or ninth aspect from Jupiter, or it might or might not get any aspect from Rahu. So we will have to calculate all the aspects from whatever planets, whichever aspects it is receiving. We will have to calculate that. So positive aspects are the ones which are gained by the like uh, the benefic planets, so like Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, and waxing moon. Negatives points will be given if it is receiving aspects from Mars, Saturn, or even Rahu, Ketu. Okay, and then we'll have to sum it up. So once we'll sum it up, we will know the net is positive or negative. So then we can find out what is the Drigbal. Okay. Now, if a planet with high Drigbal indicates that person will receive help from others. See, basically, you are getting aspects, you are getting influence from others. So this also represents how much you will be influenced from others, how much help you will get from others. So if a planet is high in Drigbal, that means in that area of your life you will easily receive help from others. Now, when that planet's area of life is activated, he will receive help from others. Even if the planet is in bad sign, helping hand will always arrive. So if a planet has high Sthanbal, like Sthanbal is the positional strength, exaltation, debilitation, that, but low Drigbal. Now let's say a planet is exalted, but the Drigbal is low. It's like a person who has a great job but is constantly criticized. Like you have a very good job, but everyone in your office will keep on criticizing you and they are like pressurized, like they are not helping. Your environment is not helpful. You might have a high rank, but you will not be happy because the environment is in where you are working, they are not helpful, your colleagues are not helpful. So that's what the Drigbal represents. Drigbal represents the things which are beyond your control. While Cheshtabal is your own effort, Drigbal is the environment's reaction to you. How the environment, the external environment is reacting towards you, how they are behaving towards you, whether they are helping or whether they are criticizing. Okay. So sum of all these bal, you will get net Shadbal. And in general, see what I feel is when a native comes to you and comes to you with he will definitely come to you with a problem. There is, I have not heard anyone coming to you, going to an astrologer and saying why I am so happy. He will always come like, I have this problem, let just help me out with this. So what will you do? So I think you should, of course you should see Shadbal. Net Shadbal basically also tells, in maybe in our later classes we will understand this in much better way. Net Shadbal also gives you the idea of the remedy. Like if a planet is strong, already strong, and let's say the planet is weak. Like in Shadbala, the planet is weak, but it is a benefic planet. Okay, planet is benefic and it is weak, and you understand that in this area, this person is facing issues, then you might suggest a gemstone related to that to increase the strength of the planet. But let's say a planet is malefic and it is high in Shadbala. So the planet is already very like it is very uh, strong, okay, but it is in malefic natures. So you want to decrease, like pacify the planet, then you will suggest some mantra related remedy to the client. Okay, so Shadbal basically also helps us to provide the remedy, and that is what the client is basically looking for. Okay, so Shadbal is important, but if you want to analyze properly, you should also understand that all the components of the Shadbal also represent something. They have meaning. They are not just contributing to Shadbala. They have their meaning of their own. They have their own practical implications. So you should also look at the different balas, all these six aspects, and then you can judge the native more in a better manner. Okay. So I think this is it for today. Any doubts in this?